Hi, this is Wayne Zell, and welcome back to Blueprint for Wealth. We're in the special guest portion of the show, and with me today are Jen Wappaus and Kris Wappaus, husband and wife team at RBC Wealth Management. Welcome to you both today.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being on the show. Today, we're going to hopefully give the viewers and the listeners 3 takeaways. One, we're going to talk about the challenges and benefits of working together as a husband and wife team. And number 2, we're going to talk about the risk of putting all your eggs in one basket. And number 3, we're going to learn a little bit more about Jen's journey as a woman entrepreneur, because I know there are a lot of women who like to listen to the show, and we want to make sure that we're covering their issues. First of all, Kris, tell us a little bit about your journey on how both of you got to RBC.
Well, it's been 26 years in the making, coming out of University of Pennsylvania actually as an engineering major. So doing something very different than what I studied at school. But I fell into this business, and after a couple moves, and being married to Jen now almost 10 years and being in the same business during that time, we've always talked about working together at some point. It just hadn't come to fruition until recently, based on things at her previous firms, my previous firms, and we decided to make it a go almost a year ago coming up. So
why RBC?
I think, well, very good question. I think it was immediate in the minds in the sense that Jen was at a RIA for a while. I was at traditional brokerage firms for the bulk
Registered
of my
Investment Advisor, folks, for those of you that don't know what an RIA is.
Yes, sorry about using the lingo, Wayne. That being said, I was at a more traditional brokerage firm along my career. And in talking with Jen and making each of us feel more comfortable in our, our teaming and future growth prospects, we wanted kind of to find a firm that might give us the best of both worlds, in the sense of some more freedom to work with our clients the way they wanted us to work with them, as well as the stability of a firm like RBC and the commitment to wealth management in the Americas, that through our due diligence process, they're going places as a firm.
Super. And Jen, can you give us a little bit of background or color on the challenges and also the benefits of working together as a husband and wife team?
Of course, there's tons of benefits. I'll start with the challenges first. So obviously challenges is turning off work. When you're together, 24 hours a day, you can easily get sucked in on personal time when you continue to discuss things. And what we found is just putting hard boundaries in place. When we're home with the kids, it's dinner time, there's no work talk, which doesn't always happen, but we try our best. And the benefits are the fact that, yes, we are together all the time. So, if there is something that we need to catch up on, we have that opportunity to do that much quicker than I think a lot of other teams. I will say definitely in this remote COVID environment, it's helped a ton. Just being able to communicate on those small things that you would do around the water cooler. So that's been a huge positive. I mean, I think, a Sunday morning cup of coffee to just say, hey, here's what we got, can sometimes even alleviate a Monday morning meeting, with the whole team, or make it more productive as well.
I work with my wife in my practice as well. And I think the biggest challenge is one that you pointed out. And that is, when do you turn it off? When do you stop talking about work when you're together, if you're together all the time?
Absolutely.
And so I really can appreciate that statement.
Absolutely. And it's, definitely having the separation of who's doing what and what your roles are and staying within those roles as well.
Sure, sure. What are your roles? What are your respective roles on the team?
Sure. So, really, we take a very holistic approach to wealth management, which starts with financial planning with our clients. So, a lot of times I am that key person, kind of the point guard that'll take the initial role of getting them through their financial plan and taking the lead on coordinating, whether that's with, their outside attorney or CPA, but making sure that their custom financial plan is set. And then Kris does a lot of, I will say, kind of more of the behind the scenes on the wealth management side as well.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, in addition to that, Wayne, we have a pretty tight client service model that we adhere to on a monthly basis with outreaches to our clients. And to that end, we don't work with 3,000 clients. We have a kind of a niche number of clients that we work with, and we kind of want to stay on top of everything that they have in their life and what means most to them. That's kind of the joy that we get in this. So to that end, I do handle most of the asset allocation and coordinating with Jen based on what their financial plan dictates. Okay, we're pretty much agnostic. We're agnostic as far as what solutions we use with our clients, and that was getting back to your question about why RBC. They have a very robust array of solutions that we're not tied to any one thing, but the plan really dictates how we help our clients on an ongoing basis.
Awesome. And, I view the two of you as entrepreneurs because you basically struck out on your own. Even though it's with a big firm, you're managing your own practice. And I know that as financial planners, you teach your clients and you try to convince your clients to diversify their assets and make sure that they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. But you all are putting all your eggs in one basket by working together. How does that reconcile with your goal of trying to convince your clients to diversify their holdings? Kris?
Well, you're right about that, Wayne, in a lot of different ways. Number one, our business is, directly tied to the market in a lot of ways. Stock market, that is, right? And that being said, we have our own customized financial plan that might differ from others our same age. And, we do have 3 children, and I got started a little late, so I tell my clients I'll probably never retire, but that's a good thing because I like my job and I love my business partner. So that being said, we probably have maybe, as far as Jen and I, maybe a little bigger liquidity bucket than others our age, based on the fact that we do have bills to pay, and the fact that if the market did correct for a fair amount of time, our income is directly related to market-related downturns. So, we've seen that. I've been doing this 26 years. I've seen plenty of dips in the market, and I'm not going to say I learned this right out of the box, but through experience, we've customized what we needed to do for ourselves to realize that, if we're all in on one particular business and certainly as partners, both at home and here at work, we need to more than plan for a rainy day.
Absolutely. Jen, I'm going to switch over to you because, I think your business, more than any other business, is dominated by men. And I know that it's changing. The whole environment is changing. So, as a woman entrepreneur, what's it like being a woman and trying to build a business that is currently dominated by men? How do you overcome the bias, the obstacles? Tell us a little bit about your story in that regard and how's it going?
Absolutely. So you definitely have to have thick skin. And I've been very lucky to have grown up as a middle child between 2 brothers. So I think I've been prepped for it my entire life. Definitely was picked on as a kid. And so, but no, in all honesty, I mean, it comes down to being competent at what you're doing and knowing what you're talking about at the end of the day. And, we do, I'm a CFP. I'm also a certified exit planning advisor on top of that, and doing your job and doing it well. And I will say there's times where I've definitely, you have to not let that bother you. I mean, again, yes, but you're just as competent and you have just as much right to be there as anybody else. And I'm lucky. I learned that very young in this business, being in the business almost 15 years now myself. I started out as an intern and as an assistant. And once I got used to everything and really understood my role and what I was doing, you'd hear some of the males in the office, walking around talking about stuff. And I was like, I know just as much as them. There's nothing holding me back to be an advisor, to do this. And that was really kind of when I had my aha moment, when I was like, I'm going to just do it. And I, haven't looked back since. And to be honest, I think as a female, there are some fantastic traits that we just have naturally. Just being better listeners, being better communicators, that especially help when talking with clients and learning about what their needs are, especially through the financial planning process of having empathy and working with them through whatever their goals are at the end of the day and really understanding what that is.
Do you find that other women have helped you along the way? Do you have any mentors that have helped you grow in the business?
Tons of mentors. And I will say mentors on the female side and male side. So both. And I think that as women, we need both because you need to get that other perspective. I've been really lucky to grow up in a family of entrepreneurs and actually have my mother was an entrepreneur and was in the financial services industry as well, to be a huge mentor for me. And actually growing up, I didn't think I wanted to get into the business, but here I am 15 years later.
Sure. I mean, both of you come from backgrounds of being athletes, right? You were college athletes, high school athletes, and that's kind of cool. And that makes you very competitive. Are you competitive with each other?
We have it.
For sure. Absolutely.
But it helps with your discipline as well. So I'll say,
Yes.
Being in that regiment and having to do those things and the practice and whatnot. I mean, it is the best practice that you could do at the end of the day to help you in a professional and personal life.
Kris, last question for you. What advice would you give to young CFPs, financial advisors who are just trying to break into the profession, and what should they do to become successful?
Well, I would say be true to who you are. Don't try to pretend to be someone you're not, to try and impress somebody because of what they might want to hear, because it'll shine through as complete phoniness. And I think over the years, what I've learned through others' mistakes, which I think is the easiest way to learn without making those yourself. So I've seen some things that I wanted to be earlier. So I wish I had, to Jen's point, a few more mentors in this business than I have had. But at the end of the day, I think, and I get this from my late mother, it was really all about being true to your character, having a work ethic, putting work before play, making, an entrepreneurial business like this. The upside is that there's nobody telling you when you can go see your kids, lacrosse game or what have you. But at the end of the day, you got to work to make a living too. So you can't take the entire weekend off after 2 days of doing it.
It's tough being an entrepreneur. There's 3 things we got out of today. There are challenges and benefits of working together as a husband and wife. It's hard to leave work at home, but the benefits are that you get to spend time with somebody that you really like. Number 2, it's okay to put your eggs in one basket as an entrepreneur, is what I'm hearing. And I certainly hope so, because I'm doing the same thing. And number 3, women entrepreneurs are rising in the field of registered investment advisors. In fact, I represent a big RIA out on the West Coast, and it's a woman-owned RIA, and they're just rocking. And so all I can say to you both is continued success, and I wish you the best of success and luck in your growth and your building the practice, because you deserve it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being special guests on Blueprint for Wealth, and tune in next time for another special topic and special guest on Blueprint for Wealth. Our thanks go to Jen Wappaus and Kris Wappaus of RBC Wealth Management. They've been great guests today. Have a great week.